Who are you?
I'm Yakira.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, let me do it again. These birds are gorgeous. My name is Yakira. I use she, her pronouns. I am a sophomore and almost rising junior at Hampshire College. And I'm feeling real happy right now.
Yeah. You started jazz at what age again?
I was in 8th grade. I did a summer intensive week-long program. It was me on piano and like 4 or 5 people on saxophone. The balance was really off in the sound because of the way the band was structured. It was mostly a saxophone band. But that was just a moment where I felt really like out of my comfort zone. I didn't really feel like I fit in that space. Like it felt very male dominated.
And how does that differ from like your experience with MHC Jazz Ensemble?
Well, the fact that MHC is a historically women's college, the whole vibe is just different. I've also become more comfortable through Mount Holyoke because of the sheet music. A lot of the sheet music that we get, the chord voicings, meaning like the chords that the piano player is supposed to play, instead of being written out note for note, it's more, here's the chord that it's supposed to be, you can play it however you want to. And so it allows more freedom. It basically just allows me to take what is kind of like whatever melody is in my brain and like my fingers can play it.
improvisation is something that's so exciting for you?
Okay. Improvisation. I mean, I kind of have been doing that since I was a kid. I feel like I just make up music. Like, that's just how my brain works.
Okay, bravo. Thank you very much. Take a bow.
That sounded good, bro.
Play something else. I'll copy you, and I'll build off of it. Please try to play something rhythmic.
Bro, these are just buttons to me.
Try like, these are the same note. Okay, keep playing that. One thing that I was thinking about is the reason why I started playing the piano is because my dad plays the piano. And so whenever I was learning a song when I was like in middle school mostly when I was in high school and I was like learning songs, he would come up to the piano and he'd start playing a bass line while I was playing whatever my chord progressions were. And like that felt so cool. Mm-hmm. And then my uncle, the same uncle I was talking about before, he plays trumpet and he is also a music teacher. And he would bring his trumpet and we'd just jam out together. I'd show them what piece I was working on or what pieces I was working on for the jazz ensemble in high school. And then we'd all play together and then we'd perform for the rest of the family. But there were moments that I like got so overwhelmed, like I got so in my head about playing that I like had to stop and I just burst out crying because I felt like I felt like I was inadequate playing with like these adults. So it's like I feel more comfortable being with people in my age range for sure, but it also feels really incredible to have the ability and the confidence now to play with like my uncle and my dad. Yeah.
What do you think changed?
That's what I'm not sure.
Well, actually, I guess when did you notice the change?
I think I noticed the change after playing jazz for a few years and like having moments where I just experimented by myself. So maybe that's what changed. I just gave myself the opportunity
More
to
practice? Yeah, literally it's just practice.
Yeah. And I got more comfortable. Like I one of the ways that I dealt with feeling really overwhelmed when there were a lot of people in my house, or if I was in a space, I would just go to the piano and I'd pretend that none of the people were there, and I'd just play whatever I wanted to play. And so I think those two practices of just like gravitating towards the piano when I was feeling overwhelmed in like social situations, and while I was alone, just experimenting as well, allowed me to just feel more comfortable playing in front of people.
So there's like an emotional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
The emotional connection, or
Yeah, the emotional like motivation into music making.
Into music making. Okay.
On the piano.
Yeah. I think there are some times that I'm not even sure what I'm feeling, but if I find a way, even just like it's not even like forming, like articulating the words, but like it's more like I will sit at the piano if I'm feeling so inclined, and I'll just let my hands play whatever. There's this one night, I think it was spring of first year, I was like really upset about something, and I just went to the piano, and I like was able to figure out over the course of like playing for probably like 30 minutes or something what it was that my brain was thinking about that I wasn't able to pinpoint.
And that was your experience coming out of that
Yeah.
music playing?
Yeah.
How does that play into performances? Like, do you see yourself playing in a way that relates to your emotions, or in a way that relates to...
No, performing with the jazz ensemble is more, I don't want to fuck this up. Is less like, this is how I'm feeling. Because usually what I'm feeling is like, I'm just really antsy to get out and play okay, hopefully well. And I know that there will be people in the audience who I've invited who are there to support me, and I want to perform for them. I want to show off all the things I've learned and the skills I've gained over the course of however many weeks we have had to rehearse. But I find that during the actual performances, it feels less intimate, so I feel less inclined to like lean into my emotion.
do you have any last words that you'd want to add? Something that you didn't feel like you could say?
I think I said a lot. I think I
did.
spoke for like 45 minutes.
Thank you. It was a lot. It was a lot of good stuff for us to work with.
Thanks.
Yeah, nothing?
I had nothing.
All right.
I'm just happy.
Thank you so much for this interview.
Oh, come here, my friend. Oh! Thank you for choosing me.
Of course. I chose you for a reason.
Okay, now do the same thing but with these notes. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the root. I'm in C. So you played the C, so we ended on the root.
You ended on the what?
Root. The root note. C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for accompanying me. You kept up a rhythm.
I did. Be proud of me for that.
Yeah. I was playing complicated rhythm. I was just making stuff up.
Yeah.
Good job, my
Good
friend.
job. Thank you.
This is we forgave lyrics.
Tell me, who are you?
I am Pinko. Last name removed.
And what do you do?
I play music, I write songs, and I am a happy Hampshire student, soon to be done.
Is this the end for you?
Yeah, this is the end for me.
Semester?
Yeah, I finished after this. I'm done.
Alright. I would like to know how you started, how you got
I started when I was 12 years old because I had a crush on my best friend, Jessie, and she really liked 5 Seconds of Summer, and I convinced myself that if I knew how to play guitar, she'd like me. And she ended up not liking me, but now 10 years later, I know how to play the guitar. So that's kind of how I got into it.
So did you start with like 5 Seconds of Summer covers?
I started with My Chemical Romance covers. I used to play bass guitar before. That was like my main one. I bought it off my neighbor for $15, who then went to jail. He was like, he told me he was having a Everything Must Go sale, and I didn't realize that also included his freedom. So I bought a bass for like $15, and then I would play My Chemical Romance and yeah, 5 Sauce and stuff like that.
So
So did you like primarily teach yourself, or did you take lessons?
I'm all self-taught. I learned with YouTube and then this video game called Rocksmith 2014, where it's like Guitar Hero but with a real guitar. So I just kind of learned that with that. It was fun. Pictures and places, the lives I have lived, wrote their goodbyes on scars in my skin. If you're up in heaven, that's where you've been all along. Loved all the people, well I think that I did. Barely remember words that they said. Face down in bedrooms, your hand on my head through the night. You can go when you want to. I'll never stop you. Love me or hate me, you will be sorry. Alien lines will guide me home. Stay on that barely glows. The closer I get, the further it goes. Walked on the highway for hours on end, watching the cars go 60 and 10, going from places to places they've been and done. Your love's a flame, can't stay forever, burning out quiet, wish I was better. But you heard a song that gave you the strength to fall. Wipe that smile off my face. Love me or hate me, you will be sorry. Alien lights will guide me home. Stare at a room that barely glows. The closer I get, the further it goes. The closer I get, the further it goes. The closer I get,
So what would you say then, that your role models are My Chemical Romance and 5 Seasons of Summer?
Yeah, I'd probably say My Chemical Romance. I mean, I got that emo streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went through like a lot of different artists and phases. I was super into like, obviously like emo stuff was 13 years old, and then in high school I was super into the Strokes and Arctic Monkeys and Mac DeMarco and all that indie wave, and then in COVID when everything just was like, ugh, that's when I found Elliott Smith, who's now my primary inspiration. So
Did that have anything to do with you coming here?
Yeah, I got into a couple schools, and I didn't know which one to choose, so I just thought, well, the one Elliot went to probably is good enough for me. I mean, I wanted to go to all of them equally, so I guess he was the deal breaker. I'm glad I went. You know, happy Hampshire student.
I think you made the right decision. Will you tell me about the first time you saw live music?
Yeah, like my first time, my dad, who's this like character, he really likes this funk band called Average White Band. They're like this Scottish funk band, way back in the day, and he took me to go see them when I was like 4 or 5, and I met them, and they asked me what instrument I played, and I was 4, I didn't know what to say, so I said triangle, and they were like, oh, keep it up, maybe someday you'll go somewhere. So thank you, Average White Band. But my first like real consciously chosen, like I wanted to go, I saw Marina and the Diamonds when I was in 7th grade, who was also a huge inspiration for me, my gay icon, if I may. So yeah, I saw her when I was like 13. It was awesome.
Okay, hold on.
You're killing this.
Thank you. I think it's fantastic. I love that. I only asked that because I also feel like I had like different between like live music that my parents took me to and then live music that I went to.
Yeah.
And it's different.
Yeah, it's especially now as an adult, it's so great to not go to things that you don't really want to go to. I'm glad for every musical experience, but yeah, certainly. I also saw Average White Band 7 more times after that because my dad would just bring me. Granted, they play like 4 songs. They're awesome. They play 4 songs, so I've heard these songs now like 28 times.
So then, what was the first song that you wrote?
My first song that I wrote, I was like 9 years old, and I wrote a song for my mother's on Mother's Day about how much I love my mother to the tune of Shawty's like a melody in my head. Granted, I didn't understand what that song was about, so it's kind of incestuous undertones, but yeah, I like redid. I don't even remember any lyrics. I just remember like, this is a fucking banger. Sorry, I don't know if I curse. I was like, this is a banger. But yeah, and then in teenage years, like the first song, I wrote this instrumental for my girlfriend at the time when I was like 14. It was really terrible. It was just like, I don't know. And then yeah, now here.
What's the difference between like your experience of like writing lyrics versus like the music part? I always wonder about that.
Often the music part comes first.
Like the sound?
Yeah, like, well, okay, granted most of it starts with like, you know, usually I'm in a mood. Yeah, I'm like sad or whatever. I don't know what I am, but I just kind of try to illustrate that feeling like this, you know, something like this. And then after that, I just mouth this melody. I'll make up crazy words. I'll often make joke songs. I'll sing about, I don't know, just banal, stupid stuff. And then slowly I'll layer that over the music, and after, I mean, every song takes like a couple months, you know, and once that's done, it's all good. If that is a question, I feel like that was a bad answer.
No, I don't know, just because I love listening to music so much, but like the part about making it doesn't make sense to me because I don't understand how you can come up with a sound that doesn't already exist.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of music does already exist. There's like a weird paradoxical relationship with originality because, I mean, yeah, really, it's been thousands of years where humans have music. Obviously, every sound's been done. At the same time, nobody has ever written it quite like you because they've never written it from your perspective. So, in that, it's wholly original, but it's been done a million times. And I think, like, when I first started out, there was that real, like, oh, this isn't original, this isn't a masterpiece, this has been done. But over time, it's like, I feel like you just get over it. You're obviously not going to probably make, like, the most original sound ever unless your death grips are 100 gex or something like that. Shout out to 100 gex. So once you get over that, you just learn to have fun. I don't know, the point is expression, right? Maybe not wooing everybody. Maybe it's just more something to do. So I think that's how I kind of approach it. nuisance to my veins. You dirty people, learn to love your shame. Yeah, but I think music, like instrumentals and stuff like that, comes much easier. Lyrics are like very intentional, you know what I mean? Like often, it's just like you write something and you're like, that's totally stupid or that's cringy or something like that. So music kind of flows, it makes sense, it kind of all clicks and you kind of go with it. But lyrics is like, you really, for me at least, it's like rewrite after rewrite to really refine it to the best that I probably can give. And then move.
We love you, baby. We love you, baby.
I've always been a mess, locking arms across the lawn. Fell on a rat trap, falling out of whack, laugh that I loop on repeat. And normally I'm on the verge of any impulse in my mind, tracing your figure, coming unfamiliar with all the reasons I should leave. You tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, you tell me I'm wrong, and I bet you're right. Winter can't stand the heat, the moth divorced the flame. You had a long bout of sadness, just glad you stuck around today to see my crooked yellow teeth, red veins and green leaves. I'm done with the story of nothing meaning much to me. You taught me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, and I bet you, and I bet you're right. Tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, and I bet you, and I bet you're right.
Does music feel cathartic and stress relieving, or do you put pressure on it like you would other aspects of life? I think we already answered that question actually a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can talk more about it if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of went through the cycle when I first started music back when I was 12, 13, whatever. Like I have a blood disorder and I grew up in bed in middle school. I couldn't walk very well, and so obviously it was very cathartic and started to fill time and space. It was just something to do. But then when I actually started to write and realize I could do this for full time, it just became this insane pressure to fit in with the sounds, to fit in what my peers really like, especially in high school when I was in that music scene. And then especially over COVID, when it all kind of went away, there's really no more pressure anymore to appease people. And obviously 19, 20 years old is when like the impending mental doom kind of kicks in, you know what I mean? So then it kind of became cathartic again with depression, stuff like that. So it went from cathartic to this pressuring, I hate it, and then finally once all that stress was relieved, it kind of became back to its original form, just this fun thing to do.
Did you like do like performing and like live music before you came here?
No, I released one terrible album that is not as bad in hindsight, but when I was 15, 16, I made this like indie pop, Foster the People type beat album, and it certainly, I mean, it didn't blow any socks off, but it got like 60,000 in total from different sites. So I had a Twitter, and I had this like, I never performed, but I had a community, just a little bit, nothing impressive at all, but a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I also had paralyzing fear of judgment, and I think live music over the internet's one thing. These people really don't mean that much. They're just anonymous anime profile pictures. But in real life, it's so intense when they're staring at you. I tried once when I was like 15 with my friend. Went terribly, just terribly. And and then I was last year was my first show that I ever did in person, and it went really well. So I've been doing
Everyone loves you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I have a show in April 29th, shout out, and May 13th, shout out.
We'll be there.
And I will be on
We'll
the radio
definitely be there.
on Sunday, shout out. So,
You're gonna be on the radio?
yeah, I'm on Holyoke Radio. Hopefully, I don't know. They're a little flaky, and I'm a little flaky too, so
That's the plan.
that is the plan. Shout out.
Is guitar the only instrument you play?
No. I play I play a lot. I granted, since moving out of my home for a while now, I haven't been able to get any of my instruments back. But I play bass guitar. That's my first instrument, my main instrument. I play drums. I've been playing drums about 8 years. Guitar about 10 years. Bass about 10 years.
Yeah, you did say bass.
Yeah, bass guitar, and I do piano. I played piano 6 years, but I'm not very good at it at all. And yeah, I pretty much anything I can play, I really like. I enjoy. I got a xylophone. I played marimba a bit. I did keyboard and band, and I do it all.
Do you think it's important as a musician to like dabble in a variety of instruments?
Yeah, I mean, especially like more so I think than just a musician perspective, but a songwriter. I think ideally, and people say this, it's a little cliche, but each instrument is kind of a different language, and I like to think a lot of songwriting times is like a beautiful poem or prose work, and you have to incorporate every instrument to use that specific language. Sometimes a piano will say something better than a guitar, right? Or a bass or a drum. And when you become versatile or skilled in all the instruments, you can it just like opens up a whole new avenues of like, oh, I could take this song in this direction or this one. It's about options, and pretty much all my songs are on guitar, but when I envision them, I hear them in a full band. You know what I mean? In a full band setting. So it's nice. I mean, it just gives you more options.
Do you have plans of like
I have plans.
Creating like music or like recorded music with like more background?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, recording is probably my weakest aspect of being a musician. I've done it a lot, yet it's never clicked. It's just mentally, I don't know. I don't have the processes to do it. But yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of money for being a musician comes from recording. And if I ever do get the chance, hopefully I do, to be in a studio. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, songs can be, they could be whatever you want them to be. And I think it'd really be cool to have versions that are, full drum band. I would love to do strings, like horns, instruments, and I wrote out some of this stuff, but just get really weird with it. Be really cool.
That is cool. I had no idea. I don't know, I feel like when I think of your music, it's very like a sound in a sea of silence.
Thank you.
To me, because it's like it really makes its own way.
Yeah.
I don't know, like you do have a soft voice,
Yeah,
and your
very soft.
music is soft, but it's very,
Rocky.
loud in other ways.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, and I feel like some songs do better, as you said, like that silent whisper kind of absence, where the instrument, the guitar, the voice are kind of the main focal points. But I also think that a lot of the songs would do better if they did have that backdrop of a symphony or drums or something like that. So time will tell.
You can collaborate with some people.
Yeah, get 100 gecs on it.
There you go.
Yeah. Funny little frog on the floor.
Who are inspirations of yours, both like in your life that you know, but also like, you know, the classic bands that you love or whatever?
Yeah, I mean I think the bands are easier. I think definitely Ellie Smith is the main one, and I'm very inspired from that generation of songwriters. Sparkle Horse and Phoebe Bridgers, of course, is my. But yeah, I mean, a lot of my musical upbringing was in like indie rock, like I said, like the Strokes, Marina and the Diamonds, a lot of pop. I never listened to a lot of like introspective indie writer people like, I don't know, Nick Drake or something like that. I never really. So it's a lot of pop and a little bit of Elliott. I think personal life is a bit harder to pinpoint. I mean, and in many ways, I think the songs are very, very personal, you know what I mean? I think a lot of them are about people that I've known and loved or lost or stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, current people, Ruby Setnick, my beautiful girlfriend, who I love dearly. She's helped me a lot. My beautiful friends, and a lot of people that I grew up with. I had my best friend Sam and Griffin and stuff. Haven't talked to them in years, but they were like my first musical buddies. So, you know, I feel like it's nobody's there statically forever, you know what I mean? I think especially inspiration-wise, I think a lot of people take you to where you're supposed to go, and hopefully you learn something along the way, and then it's on to the next phase. But definitely Hampshire as a total, too, I think has been really inspirational for my music, just meeting all these wonderful people.
That's cool. It's really cool.
I stop, I stare at the shit that you call fun. I watch you wear your liver down to dust. I've been losing the fight almost all of my life. I read the tale, the story's gone awry. The blinded man who opened both his eyes, he's been living a